Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I am making this video after a very long time because this semester was very hectic for me. I did not get time to make videos or edit videos. So my exams are over. I'm making this video. You might be wondering the different background behind me. So I am actually in India currently. My semester holidays started and it's been 1.5 years I left to the US. So I thought I'll come back to India and spend some holidays with my parents. Currently I am in my parents' house, my house, and I have no clue why my parents decided to paint the walls blue. It looks very pure, but this is all I have got in this house, and I'm not going to invest some more money in order to make the background aesthetic. I'm going to make videos however it is, and moreover I like to shoot videos which are more authentic. So yeah, this is it. I was actually very confused whether to come back to India or not because of the pandemic and the COVID. I was afraid that I may not be able to go back to India because since it will be holidays, a lot of people will be traveling, and again the number of COVID cases might increase and they might shut down the country. So I was afraid of that, but then the travel restrictions were slowing down, and then I thought if I do not come back to India now, I won't be able to come to India after I graduate, because I'm not sure whether I would have gotten a job or if I would still be looking for a job. So I really wanted to come this time and meet my parents. So yeah, I was very confused because the process itself was very consuming. None of the instructions were very clear. So I booked my tickets, and then I got to know that I won't be able to travel through that airlines. So again I had to cancel it, and then again no proper guidelines for traveling. So at that point I decided, okay, anyway I'll have to cancel my tickets. I thought of dropping the plan to come back to India, but then again everybody was going to India, and I did some research about all the airlines and all the travel restrictions, and then I thought, okay, now is the only time I can come to India, otherwise I won't be able to go to India until I graduate or until I get a job, which I'm not sure when will that be. So that's why again I booked tickets, and I cancelled it. Again I booked, and here I am finally. I will tell you the whole process, how it was for me, and what are the airlines that you can travel through, and what are the restrictions that are there in India and the US and everything. Before that, I was getting a lot of DMs on Instagram and Facebook asking for how is the coursework in UTA for electrical, can you help me with accommodation, can you tell me how the industrial engineering is in UTA. To be honest, I have got so many DMs, I literally cannot sit and reply to all of your messages. I'm really sorry. So that's why what I would request you to do is, if you have any generic questions, you can put those questions in the comments down below, and I will go through all the questions, and if they are generic and if they are something that I can answer, I'll make a video on that. But if you're asking me how the electrical branch is here or the industrial branch is here, I can really not answer that question because I am personally doing masters in computer science, and I can only talk about my branch, right? So if you want to know about your particular branch, I would suggest you to go to LinkedIn and connect with people who are studying in UTA or have studied in UTA in the same branch, and you can probably ask them those questions. And I'm really sorry I cannot reply to all your messages on Instagram and Facebook. So this is the platform I am giving you guys, where you can put all your questions, and I'll answer those questions in the next video. And one more thing, so like for the past few weeks I'm sitting and talking. I really want to make different videos, but the problem is sometimes people around me are not comfortable to be in front of the camera. So if I am in a group and if one person is not comfortable, it becomes difficult for me to not shoot them and include the other people. So that's why, and it becomes really hard, and they are also not comfortable, and I also have to make sure that they are not in the video. So all of these things becomes really difficult. That's why I have not made any videos, and moreover I was not going out anywhere that much. But now that I am in India, let's see if I can make some videos with my parents or my cousins, or in case if we go out anywhere, I'll try to make video. But I can never tell what kind of videos I'm making, because I really don't have a plan, and I'm a person who likes to go with the flow. Now I want to talk about how you can travel, what are the airlines that are currently flying, and the documents that you need to carry, and all of this. So I flew from US to India on December 4th. My flight was on December 4th, and I reached here in Bangalore on December 6th Indian time. So initially what I did was, British Airways was the cheapest and the shortest. So I thought, okay, the airlines was allowing me to book. So I thought, okay, if the airlines is allowing me to book, that means that I will be able to travel from US to India and India back to US. So I booked off the British Airways. But then when I called up the customer care and asked, they told me that I'm not eligible to fly from India to the US. So then I started thinking, okay, the US has restrictions for people who are traveling through UK. They are not allowed to enter into India. And then I also got confused that it was written only the US citizens who will be allowed to enter into India. And then I started thinking, okay, there might be a problem for me to enter back to the US. And that was very chaotic. Like, there were no clear information that was given. The airlines used to tell one thing, and the embassy had some other rules, and I was really confused, and that's why my flight got cancelled as well. So that's how I could get the full refund for the flight that I had booked, and I dropped the idea of going to India. But then everybody started going to India, and then that the only option was to book United, because the United used to fly directly from US to India. So there is no in between transit. So that's why I thought United Airlines was the best option. And there were more rules, the documents that you need to carry, and I was confused also, like whether will I have to quarantine after coming to India, and will I be able to unload back in the US. So all of these were really confusing for me. So then when I did a proper research, I got to know that US really do not have any restrictions for foreign nationals entering into the US, as long as you hold a valid student visa. Like, I am not sure about other visas if you are traveling. If you are a student and if you have a valid F1 visa, they do not have any restrictions. So then I was wondering, if US does not have any restrictions, then why was I not allowed to travel from India to US through British Airways? And then I realized that it is India which has restrictions. So according to the air bubble restrictions, if you are traveling through British Airways, you can only travel until UK, and you won't be able to travel further. Like, the destination has to end on UK itself. So what I did was, I booked United Airlines, but then I had booked for the wrong dates, which I realized before 24 hours of booking. That's why I cancelled that flight, and I got the full refund back. And then the next option for me was, okay, then I thought, before knowing about the Indian air bubble policy, when I got to know that US does not have any restrictions, I booked off British Airways, because I thought if I do delay it, again it will be, the prices might increase, so I booked it off. Then I got to know that it is the India which has restrictions, and again I won't be able to travel through British Airways. There was some flights through Air India, but the Air India flights are only from San Francisco to Delhi. So I didn't want to travel from Dallas to San Francisco, Seattle to San Francisco, and then again take a different flight from there, because I'll have to coordinate all these flights. It's a little bit hectic, and it will be more expensive also. So the only option for me was United Airlines, but the United Airlines was a very, very long journey. It was like 30 hours or something, and I had to change like 2-3 flights. But That was the only option. I called the British Airways and they told, yeah, you can fly through British Airways. So then I again made a booking. Then I called the customer care and they tell me that you're not allowed to fly back from India to US because of the Indian air bubble policy. And I was really frustrated with the British Airways because they used to tell one thing one day, and it was not very clear. So one day they told me I won't be able to fly from India to US, and the next day and I can fly from US to India. But the next day when I call them, they tell me that I can't fly even from US to India. So like it was really confusing for me, and I was really pissed with the British Airways customer service. If I want to cancel the ticket, they are not even refunding. So initially they refunded me because the flight that I was flying through got cancelled, and they are asking me to get a full voucher instead. So they told me they will give a full voucher instead of a refund. So like I paid $2,000 for 2 people. And they will give me $2,000 voucher, it seems, which I'm not sure whether I'll be using that voucher in the future. So that was really pissing me off, and I was not sure what to do. And then what I decided was, okay, let me fly through Britain now that I've already booked. Let me fly British Airways itself from US to India. And they told me that I can claim for the return voucher if I don't want to travel. So, and from US to India, British Airways is the shortest journey, like it was only 21 hours. And I really didn't want to travel 30 hours changing 2-3 flights. So I thought I'll take that flight, and I flew from British Airways itself. So for the return journey, I thought I'll book United Airlines because that's the only thing that does not have any restrictions. So I have booked United Airlines for my return journey already, like I booked 2-3 days ago. So now luckily for me, the British Airways return flight got cancelled. So now they are refunding the total amount for me. So basically for my entire journey, I'll be paying around $1,060 for the flight from US to India through British Airways, and for the United Airlines from India to US. So this 1,060 is the combined amount. So this, I was lucky with that, but yeah, do not try to book and cancel, and before that go through all the information clearly and then only book. But this has happened for so many people this time because there is no proper information given. So like they should have had these information, travel restrictions in the booking page itself. But for the British Airways, they have these travel restrictions in some other web page, which you yourself have to go to that page and look for it. So if that is the case, most of the times you do miss reading the information, right? And so yeah, this was one hectic process. I had to make some 10 to 20 customer care calls. So if you guys are planning to fly, the best option for you is United Airlines. That's the longest flight. You will have to fly for 30 hours and all, but that's the safest flight that is there. And it is cheap also. And moreover, since it flies directly from India to the US, US to India, you are in the safe state if you are, especially if you are a student. And now talking about the travel documents. When I traveled from US to India, I was required to get the negative rt-pcr results. So this is the requirement by the Indian government. So if you are traveling to Karnataka, it is written that it is mandatory to get the negative rt-pcr results. For other states, they have some different rules, but for Karnataka, it is mandatory. Karnataka, they do not have any institutional quarantine. So for other states, if they have any institutional quarantine, if you show them the negative results, you can apply for the quarantine exemption. So if you do that, if you get approved, you won't have to do the institutional quarantine. But for Karnataka state, it is mandatory to get rt-pcr results, and you don't have to apply for the quarantine exemption also, because for everybody, as long as you get negative rt-pcr, you are advised to quarantine at home for 7 or 14 days. And since I was flying through British Airways wanted me to fill a self-declaration form. So in case if you're traveling through British Airways, you have to fill the self-declaration form and you have to submit that before 24 hours of your journey. So this was another document that was required, and they had asked me to fill the Air Suvidha form as well. So in Air Suvidha form, it will ask you to fill the seat numbers as well. So this you can do it only after you have checked in, or once you have got the seat numbers. So I was able to check in my seat, but the person I was traveling with, we were not able to check in. So it asked us to check in at the airport itself. So what I did was, after going to the airport, after we checked in, so there was some time left before we board the flight. So I sat down and I filled both of our Air Suvidha forms. And when we were traveling from Seattle, there the British Airways agent, they gave us the self-declaration form as well. So I sent that form online as well, and I had that hard copy with me as well. So in case if you are traveling, get your rt-pcr results printout, get the self-declaration form printout, and if whatever documents that they are asking you to submit, get all of these printout. So these were the 3 documents. One is self-declaration form, Air Suvidha form, and the third one is negative rt-pcr results. So these were the 3 documents required, and they asked us to download what is it called, Arogya setu app as well. So you need to do all 4 of these. And when I entered Bangalore, they checked that negative rt-pcr form. They also checked the self-declaration form. Okay, so they have advised all the travelers to do home quarantine for 7 or 14 days. But they are not really checking or watching people whether everybody is doing home quarantine or not. So, but yeah, it would be safer for you if you stay at home for 7 days, so that you don't spread COVID to anybody. So yeah, so this was the whole story behind the flight journey. So if you want to travel, I think it's safer to travel. You don't have to worry much as long as you have got all the right documents with you and you have booked the flights. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. I think this video is informative and hopefully it will be helpful if you are planning to travel as well. And yeah, that's it for today's video. Please follow me on Instagram, and my handle is SuvidhaMH184, and I'll put the link in the description as well. And thank you guys all for the love and support. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.
Just because you're sorry doesn't mean you love me. I wish you could understand that. Just because you're sorry doesn't mean you love me. Why should I take you back? Just because you're sorry doesn't mean you love me. I wish you could understand that. Just because you're sorry. Just because you said all the words that